All right, ladies and gentlemen, the winning connection, Kentucky Derby 142. We're going to start in the middle with Mr. Paul Redham. The second Kentucky Derby winner. Of course, I'll have another, the last non-favorite to win the race. We've had 4 in a row wins since then. Trainer Doug O'Neill. His second Kentucky Derby win, Mario Gutierrez. And Denison. Keep them on the ground, that's okay. All right, a fabulous performance by the unbeaten Nyquist winning the Kentucky Derby. The first unbeaten Kentucky Derby winner since Marty Jones in 2004, and we all know that there is one unbeaten Triple Crown winner, and that was Seattle Sloop back in 1977. That's for down the road. We're talking about unbeaten Derby winners now. And let's start with Mr. Redham. And just, here you are yet, a marvelous run. I'll have another 4 years ago. This colt, Ferguson, named him beautifully after a hockey star. That is, you know, most times when you name horses after people, it doesn't work out too well. This one worked out well. You're unbeaten. Here you go, and he just looks like the sky's the limit.
When the Red Wings missed the playoffs, they started to worry about our horse.
How does it feel for you? I know it's the most obvious question. Brilliant performance by this horse, and all he's done is do everything you wanted to do and more. It's a special, special thing.
Well, I feel really good for the horse because along the way of the last year, he's taken a lot of shots for whatever reason, and I think he proved all his critics wrong today. So I'm really proud of him and the whole O'Neill team and Mario's ride. It was just flawless from getting that.
What were your thoughts coming into the race? That we got here very late with it. Didn't work over the racetrack, but he trained brilliantly wherever you'd been. And looked great on the racetrack here. And you got the post draw. You were outside a little bit, but confident throughout the week that he would run this kind of race.
I was, because obviously you feed off your trainer, and Doug has trained for us for I guess 12 years now, and so we've kind of been able to read O'Neill language. And you could tell the horse was really doing everything absolutely perfectly, and to win this race you have to have a lot of things go right, and they were all going right, so we felt quietly confident coming in.
But can you speak O'Neill?
He can, actually.
Good to know. That makes a beautiful friendship. Doug, here you are. You just told you emerged in California, but you've been all over the place with him now. 3 trips, 2 trips across the country, and just perfection. What else do you want to say?
It's unbelievable, and got to thank Paul and Zilla for this opportunity. And like Paul said, he knows the O'Neill language. I know the Elias language, his groom, and the Johnny Garcia language, his ex-Sedge rider. And those guys, they're the unsung heroes, because they do all the work, and they're long hours, and I could tell, God, just in the last week or so, Elias, he's very serious, you know, about his trade and loves his horses so much, but he's been smiling more than I've ever seen him smile. So I didn't know what was going on, but now I think we all know. He was just, you know, you take those bandages off in the morning, and his legs are ice cold, and his feet were ice cold, and you look in the feed tub, and there's no more feed in there, and he was really, really responding so well to Elias and the whole team, and it's a great feeling.
This race, you face so many things that your horse didn't have to face before. You come in and get it done for a second time. But again, with this horse, and just talk about the journey. Were you really concerned at any point?
Oh, you're always concerned. You know, when we did our team rudder meeting after winning the Breeders' Cup race, you know, we talked about giving them a little break and having 2 races as a prep for the Kentucky Derby, and we felt pretty confident about that. But I think we'd all be lying if we said, you know, maybe if we got beat here today, we'd probably say, God, maybe we didn't do enough with him. But that maybe was the only worry. But other than that, he's just a remarkable athlete that if you work him by himself, he'll even switch his tail a little bit, like, what do you want? What do you want from me? And you put him in company, and he's just a Ferrari. So, but this guy right here, how does he handle that pressure? We were all like so nervous. We were all saying, thank God we're not riding him. We would have fell off him before we got to the gate. But the way Mario, he's got ice in his veins, and he's the guy who wanted the free throw line at the end of the game, and just got to thank Mario big time. Yeah, true.
about the trip on this guy today?
Well, the trip was amazing. You know, like we got a beautiful trip. You know, from the start to the end. And the pressure is pressure. You know, like the horse is undefeated. It's the Kentucky Derby. Like the only race that we have like 19 other horses. You know, trying to get to the wire first. So, but like I say, I get the confidence from Nyquist. I was able to work him since he got to the track, so I know him a lot and I trust him, and I believe he trusts me as well.
This is clearly an easy game. I've been there twice with these guys, and you win both derbies. Really impressive. I mean, it's there any special approach you take, or is it just you and your confidence in the horse?
No, it's very, very special. You know, like I say, it does. It's a lot of nerves, but I do believe that I have matured as a rider. You know, and I'm doing things I wasn't doing 4 years ago. So like that makes me a lot of confidence. You know, like I know that my surroundings always believe in me, and so you get extra confidence from that. You know, Mr. Redo, like Dog, you know, my wife, the whole team. You know, Johnny, the groom and Leah. So I believe I got the right people behind me, so they always keep me grounded, and like that's where I get my strength and confidence.
For another O'Neill perspective, just talk about what it means to you.
No, I said to someone, I felt like 4 years ago I bought a lotto ticket, and I said for someone to buy 2 lotto tickets in one lifetime, I don't think that's ever happened. So I mean, that's kind of how I feel about this. It's just an unbelievable day, and to have my mom here too is so special.
I was going to ask you guys. What is mom's full name?
Dixie Lee. So,
Great to have you.
yeah, she said about 6 months ago, I'm not missing any more of these. She's been taking the road trips with us. It's great to have her.
So does this mean as you bought 2 lottery tickets, you're not playing anymore?
That's up to Mr. Reynolds.
Okay.
If he was smart, he'd cut me off. Wait till I get my car, though.
It's about time for a new car, so.
Well, I'm smart. I'm going to cut myself off, and we're going to take questions out here. So watch for the microphone, hold up your hand, those who'd like to ask a question, and let's start over here.
Yeah, Paul, from our crude calculations, there have only been now 4 owners in the last 44 years who won multiple Kentucky Derbies. How do you explain this?
Well, one of your colleagues told me I was the luckiest guy in horse racing 10 years ago, and I think that's how I'd explain it. I'm just very lucky to be with these guys and for Dennis to do his thing, and it's as simple as that, really.
And Doug, how many folks did you have here in Kentucky throughout these 5 weeks and this last week, as far as the staff goes?
A lot. I mean, I wouldn't want to look at Paul and Zilla's checkbook, because Paul and Zilla are so generous, and we had, I think, 8 to 10 horses and probably about 12 crew here, so we were definitely overstaffed, but Paul said, do whatever you have to do. We had Dave Kenny's good friend Marvin, who's unbelievable. He's a former policeman. He was security. He had a security around Nyquist 24 hours a day, so yeah, we had a huge crew, big family, and thank you, Paul and Zilla, for writing all those checks.
If the horse had run second, we would have had a net loss.
Yeah.
Doug, question for you. During the week leading up to the race, you were asked about people maybe not fully getting all in with Nyquist, and you were very kind of deferential about it. You said it really didn't bother you, but did it at any point in time?
Well, Paul and I would talk a lot about, do you believe that idiot just wrote that article? We respect all journalists, and I think, but you nailed it right. It's the beauty of sports, and you don't want to be, you don't want everyone picking the same tee, or else it's not that much fun. So, I think people are just looking for value, and none of these 3-year-olds have gone a mile and a quarter, so why bet a 2-to-1 shot when you could bet 10, 15, 20 to 1, on a horse who had never done it. So, but we were very confident in him.
Compadula?
Doug, could you talk about how Mario has matured and changed since that first Derby win?
Well, he's found a beautiful woman in Rebecca, and they're expecting a baby, so that's cool. I think they should name him Derby, but that's something that, if not Derby, Doug, maybe throw Doug in this. That'd be kind of cool. But no, I mean, you see, I think all of us, you go back, and if you had like nerve meters on all of us in a lot of the big races, we might have maybe looked not too nervous, but we were all kind of a little nervous. And I think as we've gone along here, I just see Mario, he's so confident. He's got like a Mike Smith quality about him now. You do, you really do. With better hair. But, no, I mean, Mike's got good hair. But no, I just think he's extremely confident and not cocky. You hear the way he talks. He doesn't expect anything. He wants to earn everything, and he puts a lot of effort into being prepared every race, and it shows off.
Right over there. By the way, you can also have done with Derby Doug.
There you go, I like that.
Works.
Yeah.
We've had Derby Dick Thompson and Derby Doug.
There we go.
Hey Doug, talk about how easy he makes things look, and is that just part of the professionalism that this horse has displayed?
Yeah, he's just a special horse. I mean, I think now it's safe to say Lava Man is unbelievable, and I'll have another's unbelievable, but he's definitely the best horse I've ever been around. And Johnny Garcia, who gets on him every day, he's been saying for a while now that this horse is so strong and does everything so easy, and you know, he's never tired. You know, we really haven't, doesn't seem like we've ever really gotten to the bottom of him, and so that's very exciting about the future. And again, like every other athlete, you just got to stay injury free. A lot of ice, a lot of prayers, a lot of Elias, and good, that's all good.
For Doug and Paul and Mario, what's going through your mind in that stretch when exaggerated the way this went?
Wire.
What's going through your mind when exaggerated? Did you know he was coming? No, yeah.
Yeah, I check around and like don't believe
Hey, talk to
Oh, when
You and I will talk later.
like I say, if anybody watch Nyquist races, you will see that he will not allow any other horse pass him. You know, he's the kind of horse that always have something left for whatever comes in late. You know, so he was able to win by 5 lengths. He's been able to win by a nose. So that's how I get so much confidence from him, because you know, if anybody comes late, I know he'll have something to respond to that.
Talk a bit about the California horses, because you almost won the Oaks too. In Philly, you came very close to being one of those Derby double winners. So, did you feel all along it was California was the strength of this 3-year-old crop?
Well, my brother's a big numbers guy, and on numbers, we look pretty solid right now.
Yes, we did. We looked really solid.
Yeah. So, from the numbers, we look solid, and I just knew firsthand these horses were training great, and they looked great. So, from that end, I felt pretty confident.
Doug, when Mario talks about slump and loss of confidence after 2012, where did you see that happening, and how did you start there, and when did you start to see it come back?
Well, I mean, I had my own slumps. I didn't really notice Mario slumping, but you know, I think we started doing like weekly meetings about a year ago. It was one of those. Paul like very seldom yells at me, and he kind of went like Bobby Knight on me a little bit on the phone. So I hung up, and I was so bummed because I was like, God, I cannot screw up this relationship. Paul's the best ever, and I called Mark Verge, who's my my spiritual leader, and I said, Mark, what do I do? And he said, you get your lazy butt down to Paul's office, you look him in the eye, and you guys figure out a plan. And we've been doing that once a week with Tom Canuce, Mario's agent, and Mario and Dennis, and I think that's helped our luck, because we were a lot more prepared, a lot more planned, and I think it helps all of our confidence as well.
This is for Doug and Paul. In light of what happened last year with Pharaoh, I'm sure the questions are going to come off, and to both you guys, all you guys, in the next 2 weeks, could this possibly happen again? How are you going to answer that?
Mom, can you light a candle at Sunday Mass? We need some higher power there to keep this guy injury free. That's how I'll answer it. Yeah, one race at a time.
Question in the back.
This question's for Doug. How is it different going into the race as the favorite versus when Al had another one?
I'm glad I'll have another wasn't the favorite, because in 2012, I don't know if I could have mentally took that. I think there's enough tequila in Mexico for me to handle that in 2012 as a favorite. But this year, I think we're all just a lot more mature, and the horses that were surrounded, or the people that were surrounding Nyquist are a lot more mature. So I felt really good to be the favorite. It felt, it was a real honor, and I got in part of me, I was like, guys, I want to represent Nyquist in the proper way, and I think the whole crew did a pretty good job, and so it felt good being a favorite this time.
Doug, can you talk about your training style and how it developed, what inspired you early on, and then also with Nyquist, have you followed similar patterns that you followed with All Have Another, or has it been different?
I think as I've gotten longer in the tooth, I've realized that a really good horse, you could train him like 100 different ways, and as long as you surround them with people that serve them right and take good care of them, it's hard to really screw him up. But with this guy, we've taken an approach of, he gallops with a lot of energy, and then we give him one day of jog and kind of recover. In 2012, as probably a lot of you, if you got a chance to see, I'll have another gallop. He galloped like a train every day, and I thought that's the way to win classic races. That's what you had to do, and it did work for him, but his career was shortened. Whether or not it had anything to do with that, I don't know, but we are doing things differently with Nyquist, and it seems like things are staying colder and tighter longer.
Over on that side.
Yeah, this is a question for either Paul or Doug. On the track after the race, Keith DeStormo said that you might like to have a rematch with you guys in Baltimore. Is that something that you all would look forward to?
You'd like a rematch? Yeah, no, you answer this.
I would have thought he was sick of us by now. This horse obviously ran great, and he was the closest threat, and if I were him, I'd want a rematch too. And the horses are not machines, so it'll be a great race.
Right here.
Doug, it's another accomplishment of this horse is to win the juvenile and then follow up and win the Derby. It's a rare horse that's done that. What did you see in this horse when he from 2 to 3 and that time off that kind of maybe gave you some confidence that hey, this horse is going to keep moving forward?
I think after Dalmar, we ran him 19 days later in the front runner, and going 2 turns for the first time, and some bonehead didn't put the saddle on perfectly. Dennis, no, that was me. And and in that race where the saddle slipped a little bit, we didn't say much about it because I didn't want everyone to think I was a complete bonehead. But to have Mario basically not have a real secure saddle and him do that in the front runner, I thought, okay, we're onto something here. And thanks for not giving me any grief in the media on that too. Yeah, you're the man. You're a team player.
You guys are time if you want to.
Yeah, no, it's statute of limitation. You can't do it.
Anybody else? Right here.
Paul, what was your view of the Bobby Knight conversation that you referenced?
I actually don't remember that conversation.
That's what Battery. Come on, come on. Battery Sanchez got hurt, and it was one of those. Paul called me, and usually I call Paul, and I just got turned around and what happened. But it was about 11 o'clock, and he's like, "Hey, you haven't called, so I forgot I call you. How's Battery doing?" And I was like, "Oh God, I meant to call you, Paul. He got hurt," and then the rest was like a lot of. Thing, beep, beep, beep stuff. But yeah, I mean, you were probably, I'm sure he works his butt off, so there's probably the stock market was crashing. Who knows what was going on in your life? But I definitely took some grief, but I think it was the best grief I've ever taken.
Mr. Evans' story about the naming of this colt has been told often, but I did a radio interview with the Detroit host. Never heard him so over the moon about a Derby horse, so there was much excitement up there in Windsor. Just talking about naming this colt and what that's meant to you and the people you know.
Well, the horse is named after Gustav Nyquist, who plays for the Red Wings, and I've been a lifelong Red Wing fan. and partners in a couple of horses with Eric Johnson, who's in the back there, plays for the Colorado Avalanche. I was telling Eric last year, geez, when you're a free agent, you should sign with the Wings. And he said, I'll never sign with them. Are you kidding? And so, just to get at him, I named a couple horses after Red Wings, and Nyquist was one of them. And then he was, can I buy a piece of Nyquist? And I, no, but... So, in the Detroit area, it's become quite a story. And I guess I think it was last night, I heard before the Tigers game, they were showing clips of the horse Nyquist, and the guys from the broadcast are all going to come to the Preakness apparently. That's cool.
Anybody else? They have a party to go to here shortly.
Real quick, for Doug and Dennis, and actually all of you guys, this is now, I believe, 3 straight for Southern California horses. Can you talk a little bit about what it means and kind of the state of the circuit?
Dennis, that's you.
Doug's talked about this a lot. I think the weather plays a huge part of that because we're able to train, and we train our horses hard. And I think with the weather out here, you can't do that. We've talked about a lot of these horses probably get 80% of their training, where we're able to train 100% of the time. And I think that's a real advantage up there. When we come across the country, our horses are very fit.
A couple more. Anybody
I thought we had better bloodstock agents, but I guess.
Definitely not.
I like that too.
I was just wondering what your plan is in the morning for him.
That was my next question, so good. What's the plan in the morning for you guys?
For us?
Yes.
Probably a lot of water and aspirin. I think the plan is to walk the shed row with him, and we tentatively, we try not to make too many plans after a race just because anything can happen, but I think he's off to Baltimore on Monday if all goes well.
What about you guys in the morning?
My wife's really cool about me not being home, so you're cool if I go to Baltimore, right? Oh yeah, there you go.
But tomorrow morning we're with everybody.
Oh, we're going to be here. I'm sorry. We'll be in barn 41, celebrating and group hugging all morning.
What time?
We do train early.
Like, oh God, tomorrow might be a little later. Probably 6:30. Probably 6:30. Yeah. We were there at like 4 o'clock this morning, so it's been a long day. Long, good day.
Sleeping a little bit.
Yep.
Well, right back.
A follow-up question to the weather idea. I mean, it's been warm in California and cold on the East Coast forever. Why?
Yeah, Dennis.
We're not buying that? It just seems like when we do, I know even Bob ships across the country a lot, and he sure is successful. What is he, won the Arkansas Derby?
Well, I think too, you're blessed in California, you don't have to move around a lot.
Yeah.
So, I think a lot of people on the East Coast, they go down to Florida for the summer, and so it takes time to have horses adjust to the new tracks. We're at Santa Anita most of the year, so you're able to train consistently and not worry about having a horse have to adjust to a new track. So that's definitely an edge, as well as Mother Nature being really kind in California.
Doug, what time would you be talking to the media tomorrow? What time would you be
planning? Like 7 would be awesome.
7?
Yeah, no lights. Real dark, real quiet, real quiet.
All right, 7. Any others? We have no other questions. One more, that'll be it. So.
Okay, this is for Mario. You mentioned a little while ago that you're doing some things now that you weren't doing 4 years ago. What are you doing now that you weren't doing then?
Well, my wife encouraged me to get a sports psychologist. At the beginning, I was a little bit embarrassed to tell people I was talking to sports psychologist, but now I'm very proud that it helps me. I got a stretch and conditioning coach, better nutritionist, and actually I have like a person that comes to my house twice a week just to stretch my body, and I'm feeling great right now.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, Mario Gutierrez.